We're Slim and Soph, a couple of uni students currently taking on the hardest stretch of coastline we've had yet in our circumnavigation of Australia.
These are moments that are truly testing.
The coast of Western Australia stretches over 2,500 nautical miles, and to put that into perspective, this is a distance greater than from the east to west coast of the entire United States. Not only is it a mammoth distance, but it's got a reputation for being wild.
It's officially the Wild West Coast now.
And it's truly living up to its name.
This West Coast is just...
It's a piece of work, eh?
Ah, it's a piece of work.
We're beating our way south into strong prevailing southerly winds and huge Indian Ocean swell. Nakama, our wee 34-foot sailboat, is proving she was built for the task, cutting effortlessly through waves and getting us a wind angle catamaran owners would dream of. But all this bashing has churned up the dormant monster living in our fuel tank.
The fuel filter's completely buggered,
causing our engine to break down in the most crucial moments.
As we're coming through the entrance, the wind has completely died off.
I'm frustrated with Western Australia.
We've gotten ourselves to a speck of civilization to tackle this beast head on.
See all that? Look.
It's going to be a messy and challenging task.
Found our first mystery item, like an unidentified sinking object, a USO.
But we're determined to get our boat back in tip-top shape to continue our adventure south towards the Southern Ocean. Okay, we are in Carnarvon. The boat is covered in clothes drying. There's no doubt that Nakama has become more so a submarine than a sailboat of late. With our bows spending this much time underwater, we seem to be drinking a bit through our windlass, which is resulting in most things getting wet, becoming a ritual for us after each sail to pull everything out to dry and to mop out the water that has trickled through the windlass and various other deck openings. Water seems to always find a way in, even in the most unexpected places.
This hatch has only ever served one decent purpose, as no wind comes through it, but it worked well as an exhaust duct for our aircon back in Darwin. R2D2, our lovely air conditioner, who we're almost done with, sits in the middle. The O-rings consistently go, and even when they're new, it always leaks. It leaks no longer. Putting silicone on it, because at least that way if I ever do want to open it, I'll be able to crack the silicone. Not stick flex on this one, but please don't leak anymore, you bastard.
While stopping even the smallest of drips will go a long way, our reason for this stopover in Carnarvon, a small coastal town located almost 500 nautical miles north of Perth, was to tackle this fuel bug. But before we get covered in diesel, apparently there's a farmer's market here. And that's good news. We're gonna go check it out. See if we can get some nice, crisp, fresh vegetables that will last a long time. Let's get into it. Ready?
Veggies, 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 veggies.
We're also off to collect someone else who has been brought to Carnarvon with engine troubles.
Hey Miles.
Hey, so
What's going on, Mike?
YouTube. I'm having engine problems.
Miles is he's a bit stuck at the moment, aren't you?
I'm not meant to be here.
Do you know what's even funnier? Hagar are also arriving this afternoon for the reason of engine problems. All three of us.
It seems to be the theme of the West Coast, eh?
Yeah. Oh, our chariot has arrived. We're just watching a ride, but I made order the taxi.
Thank you. So where are we heading? To the markets. Yeah, growers market.
We didn't intend on coming into the marina so soon. After our brief stay in Exmouth, we made sure to get enough provisions to last us until Perth.
Yeah, we're not going to starve and we will not be sober out there, so that's good.
So we're not desperate for food, but whenever we do get the opportunity, we make a habit to replenish our fresh food, especially if it's from a farmer's market, because we find it lasts so much longer than supermarket produce. The markets didn't have as much as we were hoping for, but what we did manage to get is pretty good. Like a massive bunch of parsley for only $3, and I'm just like, all the possibilities. Oh my gosh, pesto, tabbouleh, so excited. There was so much parsley, honestly. I was like, dude, this is a lot of parsley. Do you want us to take all of it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how much is that? $3. Pretty good. Avocados, $2 each, and they're like super hard, which is so good, not ripe at all, which is, it's what you're chasing. This is what it looks like if you're wondering, and they've left the little stalky things in, which make them last longer. So super, super good for boat life, I suppose. And a couple of other things. Good little market haul. It's always nice to take any break from being on the boat, even if it's just heading to the markets. But it's time to get back into chores because we're only here for a couple of days. So making the most of having access to fresh water to hand wash a few salt-soaked things. So as they hang out to dry, we finally turn our attention towards the more pressing issue, our contaminated fuel tank.
Old fuel's coming out. Between us we have enough empty jerry cans. We'll fill it up. We're fortunate enough there's a fuel disposal place here, which is brilliant. This job's gonna suck. I'm not looking forward to it. The inspection port's like that big, if my hand was a circle. That's the only way we can access the tank, so cleaning this thing is going to not be easy. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but it's gonna be better than nothing. I wish we had the wetback or something like that, but we don't, so...
So we disconnected the fuel line. In addition to an electric lift pump, our line has an old hand pump in it. So kind of like milking a cow, Slim began squeezing the diesel out of the tank. But it didn't take long for him to realise.
I'm not going to be able to do it like this.
This is going to take too long and we're going to get extremely sore forearms. So we bring in a quicker alternative.
The cool thing is the pellet pump has a clear hose and there is serious amounts of black coming out of this. See all that? Look.
Oh. When the pump is full, we funnel it into a sacrificial jerry can, where our stowaway bug continues to introduce itself.
So it's no wonder our fuel filters were clogging because this funnel has a little grate on it. It's clogging when we're trying to fill the jerry up. We've taken out maybe 10 litres and we've had to clean the grate in this like 3 times because it's not taking it anymore. So I'm probably just going to cut the mash out of this filter or we're going to spend all day trying to funnel it.
Ew.
Just so much of it.
Diesel bug is a mixture of bacteria and fungus that feed on your fuel. Like most bacteria, it reproduces quickly, so it's good we're getting onto it now. It particularly likes warm weather, which is why we're not exactly shocked about it, as for the last few seasons, we've been in remote tropical North Australia.
I so wish there wasn't Crocs here because this would be far more relaxing.
Combining this hot and humid climate with getting fuel in incredibly remote places has most likely contributed to this contamination. But as we dive further into the fuel tank, we realise that the bug isn't alone. It turns out it lives in the company of strange objects.
Found our first mystery item, piece of metal, just random, like an unidentified sinking object, a USO. It's annoying. Well, it's gone now, so it's good. You can go there, buddy. It's probably like some tradesman 40 years ago's Allen key or something there. He's like, where's that Allen key? It's in my fuel tank, you bastard.
He's still looking for it.
Yeah, he's still looking for his Allen key.
Today we're truly learning the importance of filters, not only with finding a USO, but also with the copious amounts of silicon we're pulling out.
What the hell?
Silicon. If it blocked this, it would definitely block our fuel lines. Ugh, we've been getting lower in the tank and increasingly more filthy, rank stuff out of the tank. So I'm glad we did this.
We've done our best to get the bug and other contaminants out of the tank.
Silicon again.
We've put our fuel treatment in and we'll have to let that sit overnight.
Righto, that's done. Well, time will tell, but we've done our best with the diesel. We've cleaned ourselves up. We're getting fumigated in here. It reeks of diesel, so we're gonna try and find somewhere nice and outdoors that we can set up for the day and hopefully still get some work and study done. Not much is gonna be happening in here when it smells like this.
So the good thing about working remotely and studying online is that you can literally do it from just about anywhere, but that is until your laptops and other electronics die.
To combat this nuisance, we've got our hands on something really handy that makes working and studying on the go and while we're away from the boat all that much easier. And for that reason, we want to say a massive thank you to EcoFlow for jumping on board and sponsoring this week's video, but also for letting us put this epic little product to the test.
This is the EcoFlow River 2 Pro. It's a small, lightweight, lithium-based portable power station that can be used for up to 10 years and carries a 5-year warranty. You can bring the River 2 Pro literally anywhere you venture to keep you and your gadgets charged.
So while we've been charging this little bad boy up directly from our mains power, one of the great things about the River 2 Pro is it can be charged directly from solar and can provide you with up to 1.8 kilowatts of power a day, which is pretty epic when you don't have the full systems around you when you're just out camping.
This magic little box here has the ability to charge our phone 57 times, or more importantly, charge our laptops for a full day so we're not sent back to the boat or to a cafe looking to recharge.
So probably the only thing that's going to make us leave this park isn't our laptops, it's the wind when we get blown away.
For us, when we leave the boat for any extended period, we normally bring various types of camera equipment to capture the memories of our trip, and they constantly require charging. The River 2 Pro allows us to be a little bit more flexible with how long we can be off-grid when we're doing land-based adventures, so it's the perfect companion for a weekend getaway.
We've fallen in love with the simplicity of having an inverter and a solar generator that can charge anything, anywhere we go.
It's especially handy as we're always in borrowed cars, so to be able to have power on the go without a complicated power station install is a game changer.
And so while Nakama has a fantastic power setup herself, we are super grateful to have the EcoFlow aboard, because in an emergency power outage event such as a lightning strike, the EcoFlow would give us the opportunity to charge things up, like our phones to use as backup chart plotters, or even get the Starlink fired up to send out an emergency message. We haven't had the need to put it to the test yet, but this thing can run an electric kettle, your hair dryer, your air fryer, and even a circular saw. Probably not all at once, but this little thing has the guts to do it. A pretty epic achievement in my books for a briefcase-sized power station.
Better yet, the River 2 Pro has your back with a super fast charge time from 0 to 100 in 70 minutes. So if you're anything like us who struggle to juggle electronic equipment,
or you just want to run the kettle and your fridge at the job site,
be sure to check out EcoFlow. You can purchase any EcoFlow product through the links in the description below. Make sure to use our code as seen on the screen or in the description below for 5% off any EcoFlow product. And if you're getting quick, that will be an additional 5% off the 40% discount that is currently offered for the Prime Day sale. So if the wind allows us, we're going to keep studying here and then we'll get back to the boat. We've also had to swing past the local rep code to clear them out of their inline fuel filters, just in case we haven't managed to take charge of this bug.
So, to the best of our ability, we've sucked all the gunk out of the bottom of the tank. Now it's time to reseal the inspection hatch on the tank, reconnect the fuel line hoses, and hope for the best.
We of course, however, won't be getting very far without refueling with clean diesel.
Now we'll definitely know exactly how big our fuel tank is. It's always kind of been a guesstimation. Paperwork said 100 litres, we thought always around 60. Woo! Hopefully that should get us to Perth now. The fuel's looking clean in the new filter. That went surprisingly well so far. We've got the inspection hatch back on now. Among a few other boat jobs, we're nearly ready to go again. Back on the road.
You're like, back to this.
Yeah, back to out there. We don't want to get back out there. Yeah, it's a bit of a hairy afternoon, early evening, but it's wild out there at the moment. Anyway guys, if you are enjoying us getting punished by the West Australian coast, consider subscribing and come along for the journey.
Before we face the elements once again, there's one more thing to do.
We have one last job for the day, and that is to replace our furling line again. We got one sail out of the other one. Hopefully we get a couple more sails out of this. if Chili doesn't claw it to shreds
If we
first.
can get it away from Chili's possession, then we'll have a new furling line. As we furled away our head sail, upon approaching Carnarvon, we realised we'd chafed through this replacement furling line. That's 2 lines gone in 2 sails.
That's the second furling line in 2 sails.
Something fishy is going on, but at this point we've put it down to the lines being old. So today we are using a cheap line to replace our spinnaker pole's topping lift, and we're going to use that as our furling line because that's a brand spanking new line and we can't see ourselves needing to pole out anytime soon. So hopefully this should get us through to Perth. At this point, we feel like we're band-aiding Nakama's ailments. As long as her hull is sturdy, which it is, we are good to go again. Back on the road towards the bottom of the globe. And this morning, we're thanking our lucky stars that the wind has given us some respite.
There's definitely a bit of fatigue that's begun to set in. We weren't planning on coming in here, but I'm really grateful we did because at least it was a couple. It was still pretty hectic. We had an exam, an assignment, and an engine to fix, as well as doing some provisioning because we may as well while we're here. It was pretty full on, but also a pretty nice hot shower, a flat night's sleep. Yeah, we're on like fatigue management in this part of the journey, but we are getting places.
Oh boy, it is a complete glass out this morning. We're just saying, oh, I'm blurry.
And I remember the last time I seen one of these.
I don't remember the last time we've seen a glass out. How good is this? Oh, just want to motor all day. People with sailboats would understand the pain of beating into headwinds and not making your course. So having a glass out where you can actually motor in the right direction, oh gosh, it's a good start to the day, I'll tell you that. We're currently in the shelter of Shark Bay, but as we find out later, it can still develop in here. But for now, in this glass out, there is minimal swell as we motor towards Dirk Hartog Island. And while this distance looks like a quick hop, we're gobsmacked that we're actually going to be covering 70 nautical miles today, which will take us 14 hours. For the moment though, we're truly appreciating every moment of this beautiful morning.
Mushrooms. 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 How good's being able to just like pick a line and motor towards it?
I know. The morning is full of placid whales. Like us on a calm day, they slowly move through the water.
We motored for like 5 hours. I'm going to see, rather than having to empty out the dark locker, I'm going to see if I can shine a torch through and check the fuel filter from here. Because it'll make my life heaps easier if I can. Oh, I hate this torch. It'll never die. It's huge, so you can always find it. But it is consistently the worst torch I've ever owned. But it always works, if it makes sense. But it's like the dismalest beam you've ever seen on any torch, and not even you put new batteries in and it still sucks. It is the worst torch. But it's completely waterproof and it's always easy to find and it's like a brick. You can't kill it. Which is part of the annoying thing about it, because I hate this torch.
Every sailor's got to have one of those.
And every sailor needs one. I wouldn't be on a boat that didn't have a dolphin torch, but it's the worst torch I've ever owned. Look at that.
Well, there goes our dolphin sponsorship.
We're not getting a dolphin sponsorship. I won't endorse them. But I'll never be on a boat without one of their torches. It's just a torch. I want a good torch. One thing I will endorse is these green alternator belts. I really want to tell them the name of the alternator belts. Here, I'm going to actually do it because I'll endorse the product. Slim's product endorsement segment. we go through a lot of alternator belts. And this, gates, they're green too. Get the green ones. Spend the extra $2. Best alternator belt I've ever owned. Gates, green. If I had a good torch, I'd be able to see it right now. Oh, she's clean.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
She's like legit clean.
Wow.
Oh.
How good's that? We did it.
We can go back to being a motorboat channel.
Eh.
Oh, this sailing. No, sailing's really good.
Sailing right now.
Sailing on a day like today and you're not in 6 metre swell and 30 knot headwinds is really good. Oh yes babe, that's sick.
Yep.
Woo! Wind's picked up a little bit now. Got like 13 to 15 knots. It's pretty nice. This has been one of the most placid and friendly day sails we've had in a while. It's nice to be bay sailing again. This bay is what is it? It's going to take us about 16 hours to cross it, so it's no small bay, but it's really, really pleasant nonetheless. We're hooking. Sitting on like 5.5 knots right now, making our course. Very, very pleasant.
As the afternoon creeps into the early evening, the wind builds to a blustering breeze and creeps just that little bit further onto our nose, making it difficult for us to maintain our course. We respond by putting our first reef in. We had a good run while it lasted, but it's hard not to feel a little deflated and frustrated as the sun sets, leaving us to it in the dark.
We're given heaps of basil. We bought like a kilo of parsley for $3. So it's made homemade pesto. Oh, good.
As we get closer to our anchorage, it becomes harder to get there. The wind is coming straight from the bay we're trying to get to. We threw in a few tacks, which got us close enough into the lee of the island that we could switch the engine back on and motor into the wind for the last few miles. We're just slowly approaching this anchorage.
It got hairy for a little bit, but now that we're getting close to the island, it's alright. It got up to like 25 knots. We've got we were reefed down and everything. It was a pretty placid day, and yeah, it was a bit of a hairy afternoon, early evening, but it's calming a little bit. We're calming a little bit, and just sort of easing our way into the anchorage. All in all, pretty keen for bed.
Pretty damn keen for bed. I'm gonna say I'm pretty grateful that we have managed to get in here at a reasonable time. It's not too late, so we're gonna have basically almost a full night's sleep. It's good. There's always this one special thing about getting in at night. That is waking up in the morning and getting your first glimpse of where you've just gotten yourself to. Dirk-Hartog Island is Western Australia's largest and most western island. This was actually the first place a European set foot on the shores of Western Australia, and the second recorded encounter of the Australian continent. Dirk-Hartog, a Dutch sailor, landed here in 1616, leaving behind a pewter plate describing his ship's arrival and voyage. Another interesting thing about this place that influenced our decision to come to this anchorage is apparently Australia's remotest bar is currently located right in front of us. So naturally, we gravitated towards it. So this is the bar here. Pretty cool. I love these types of bars that are like pretty rustic, beach shacky, right on the beach. They even have beer on tap, I believe. So it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? It'd be rude not to. This gin bar operates as part of the family-owned accommodation that's next door. This site was once a pastoral leasehold, and while it's now a part of this World Heritage area, it still retains some quirky character from its agricultural past.
Other than the gin bar, the other thing we weren't expecting to find here is a horse. There's a horse just there.
What you doing, horse? What are you doing here?
Yeah, he's full-time lawnmower.
Everyone should have a horse in their backyard, eh?
Or a sheep.
Sheep?
They've given him a mullet or something. He ran away halfway through getting sheared.
Yeah. What are you even eating, mate? You're a beach sheep.
Oh, he's just cleaning up the weeds for them.
Beach sheep.
Nah.
For us, we're just stoked to be out of the fuel tank and back on the islands. And after a few tough legs, this is reminding us of why we choose to sail. We're going to leave you here this week, guys. The next time you see us, we'll be heading further offshore to some new islands in search of some crayfish.
WA!
We really hope you enjoyed this snippet of our journey, and as always, a huge thank you to our patrons for making each video possible.
We're not getting a dolphin sponsorship. I won't endorse them.
Cheers, guys. We're looking forward to seeing you again soon.